welcome to my YouTube video today. Oh my gosh, I've been all over the place. I think this is like the third, fourth time I'm pressing play on this camera because I am all over the place. There's so much information that I need to tell you guys, and I just can't seem to like fit it in right. But you know what? It's okay. I regrouped. We're gonna start over. But anywho, I'm gonna review the book The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. For those who do not know who this author is, she was one of the co-writers for the Spiderwick Chronicles. She also is known for her book The Doll Bones. So if you're interested in those, you can definitely look those up. But anywho, yeah, so this particular book, the reason why I really wanted to do the review right now is so that you guys get the chance to kind of read the book if you wanted to, and also possibly get her new book that's coming out, which is going to be the sequel. It's called The Wicked King, and that one's going to be out on January 8th. Now, I just finished this book, reading it last night. It was like absolutely crazy. Like, I told myself I'm going to finish this book, mainly because the Owlcrate subscription. If you guys don't know about that, I do several unboxings of the Owlcrate. I'll link their information down below if you want to know more about it. I don't really want to zone in on Owlcrate right now in this review, only specifically because I really want to talk about the book itself. But anywho, Owlcrate is going to have a limited edition box, and I really wanted it, which was the sequel to The Cruel Prince. Going to have an exclusive cover. It's going to have her signature and some definitely good amount of goodies that's either going to cater to The Cruel Prince or The Wicked King, which is her new book coming out in January. But anywho, so that's why I really wanted to talk about this book right now, because you guys, her new book is going to be coming out, and I needed it so bad. Well, I wanted it so bad. So I'm like, you know what? If you haven't finished the first book, why should you get the second one? And of course, me as a little book hoarder, or better yet, I don't know, just someone who collects books and just loves books in general, like, to me, I was just so drawn to getting it. So I told myself I'm going to finish this book tonight, which I did, and I finished it probably at about 1:35. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but in the morning. So here it is, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, you guys may notice, if you guys do not have an Owlcrate subscription, I just wanted to say that this is an exclusive cover that actually came with Owlcrate. Supposedly in that limited edition box, The Wicked King, her second book for this, is supposed to have an exclusive cover to match this one. I know the original one, the original book, actually has the white cover to it, and I want to say it has some kind of vines, and then it has like a little like a gold crown right here. So it does look a little bit more different. Now, the one thing I do have to say about this book, which I love and I can appreciate it, is that not only does it have the signature of Holly Black herself right here, but also, you guys, it has a map of where we're talking about right here in the front pages of Elfham right here. This is so cool. I was able to kind of go back there and be like, wait a minute, where's she at? There is so much details in this book. Now, here's the thing. There's so many name droppings going on in this book that is kind of hard to keep up with the characters, who they look like, what their characteristics are. Like, there's times where I had to go back like, oh shoot, wait a minute, so he's the one who had this? Oh my god, I'm getting them confused, the characters themselves. So at the beginning, it's kind of hard to follow along, at least for me it was. And yeah, so that was just something that I know for me, I kind of struggled in at the beginning. It was just so much information. Now, keep in mind, I'm someone who doesn't really read a lot of fairy kind of style books that are like fantasy in that direction. But this one in particular is about like fairyland, and a whole bunch of things are going on out there, and so many different creatures are actually in this environment and in this realm or whatever. And it's pretty cool because it's kind of like surrealism going on here. I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned that, but basically there is a human world nearby, which is separate from fairyland, but you can basically fly to it, or you can get to it in a certain way and then come back to fairyland or whatnot. But anywho, back to the actual now plot and everything. So here it is. This book, The Cruel Prince, there's so much going on. There's so much going on. So I am going to tell you guys really quickly about the beginning, just to kind of give you a little brief you know, idea as to what builds up to the end. I'm not going to give you a spoiler at all. Now I have to really try to explain to you guys like how basically this story basically started. Okay, so they're all in this house. Everything's going wonderful. You have two twin sisters. It's Taryn and Jude. Also, you have an older sister called Vivian. And they all basically live with their mom and dad. Now, the dad is Vivian's stepdad. If you guys are already catching up with me. Anywho, it was a normal day. Everything going pretty much okay. Next thing you know, they get a knock from the door. One of the twins goes and opens it. It turns out it's Maddox. I hope I said his name right. But anyways, he comes in. She goes and tells, hey, mom, you know, there's someone at the door. When the mother finds out who it is, she was like shooketh. She was like, oh my gosh. At first, you don't know who this person is or who this creature is, but he does seem to be someone from Fairyland, which later on we ended up finding out he was actually one of the right-hand man, general, whatever, to the High Court. So he's like, he plays a huge role in this book. But anywho, at the end of the day, the dad, the mom got killed, and all the three kids got basically whisked away because Maddox is actually the father of Vivian. Fast forward to a couple of years. Now, keep in mind, all of this happened when they were about, I want to say it was 7 years old. But they did end up moving to Fairyland. Now, of course, the girls were very young. They definitely knew what happened to their father and their mother, the little young twins, as well as Vivian that now has to live with her dad. Just so much stuff is going on. And now in this castle, they live with Orion is basically the stepmother of them. And she's married to Maddox. And they have a child called Oak, which he comes into play later on. Now, out of the three girls, definitely the one who comes into play a lot more is Jude. She gets picked on a lot. She gets made fun, everything. Actually, the twin sisters do a lot. Now, Vivian is more like this teenager. Not teenager. She's like a young adult now. And she's kind of rebellious. She does her own thing. She doesn't care what her dad says because basically he screwed up her life. But you don't really see too much of Vivian. Now, in regards to the twins, they go to school. They deal with a lot of harassment, a lot of things going on. You have these individuals and creatures that basically have more powers, and they're just mortals. The two girls, the two twins are mortals, but Vivian is definitely part of Fairyland. So she has, you know, some magic with her. That's the one thing that I didn't mention is a lot of magic going on, but the only mortals in here is basically Jude and Tyron. There's like maybe one or two more characters, but they didn't zone in on those people at all, so I don't want to talk about those. But yeah, definitely. What happens now is the twins have to kind of fit in this world of Fairyland. And things are not going as planned. There's a lot of difficulty. It's around teenage years. A lot of things are going on. Taryn, if I can say her name right, she somehow is in her own little world. She starts to kind of push away from Jude because Jude is more of the person that kind of like defends herself and she refuses to be put down. So even though she struggles with these other teenagers, they're all basically bullying and doing all these kinds of things to her. I mean, horrible things. So this whole time, Taryn just says, you know what, just give in, just be okay with them, say sorry, kneel to them, whatever you need to do, just make it right. But Jude's like, no, I am not going to actually accept this behavior, and actually got this. She ended up, Jude kind of morphed into this different person. All of these things going on with her, with so much bullying, so much things going on with her harassment and everything, like, turned her to someone different. She wanted to learn more about sword fighting. She was very smart. She's very keen. And she gets herself into some kind of trouble in a way. And because of it, she now plays a huge role at the end, basically. So if you guys like anything Fairyland, creature, woodland creatures, whatever, like that kind of stuff, this is definitely fantasy. This might be something you guys would really love. There's so much going on in the High Court, which is like where the main kings, queens, and princesses are. And Cardin is actually one of the prince that basically lives, you know, in the whole high court, whatever, like he lives all in those areas, and he's the main harasser, the main bully to Jude, and Jude just absolutely despises him. But there's a lot of twists and events like everything. And throughout majority of the book, all you see is Jude and Carden going at it. I mean, there's Carden comes with basically a group of people. So you got Carden, which is like the leader, and then you have a group of these other individuals that also cause havoc to Jude. But anywho, so as the story goes along, I did come to realize there is just so much complex, not only characters that come into play, but also plots and twists and whatnot. Definitely unexpected stuff. And if you're not afraid of a little bit of gore, then this might be your cup of tea. Because let me tell you, a lot of things, you think you know what's going to happen, and you think you may know this and that, but no. No. You are going to be fairly surprised with this book. So I don't want to talk a lot more about it because I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea as to what's going on at the beginning and then what builds up later on, because eventually Jude wants to become a knight, basically, and serve for the high court. But, you know, she's got to go through a lot of things and able to get there. And does she get there? Does she not get there? What does she have to go through? Like, you guys have to seriously read this book. It's just a little bit of everything. It's about power. It's about strategy. It's about definitely fantasy. A little bit of romance, but it's not the highlight for sure. But rivalries, there's so many, like I said, some gore too. But if you are interested in something like this, I would definitely recommend it. I personally got swept away. Once the really juicy stuff started getting, I really was like boom, 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 and just knocking these chapters quickly because I wanted to know more. Now that I've came to the end, I'm even more excited to see what the Wicked King is about. Now, if you guys want to go to your nearby library, like I said, or actually buy the book or whatnot, I definitely recommend it. I personally give it like a 4.5, only because the way that it started and it was about to lose me. But really quickly, I got like swept away and like, boom, it's kind of one of those things where you're kind of like, I don't know about this. Like, whoa, like the plot thickens, things happen, boom, boom, boom. Like, that's what this is about. So yeah, so if you guys want to see what Jude does in her book, I actually thought it was going to be about mainly Vivian. Other than that, I think that's going to conclude my review. Like I said, it's probably all over the place and it's a lot lengthier than I wanted it to be. But you guys, it's just too much information, and I probably am gonna go back and edit this video and be like, oh my god, like I was saying way too much. But you guys, I hope that you guys at least got an idea as to what this book is about. I'm telling you guys, there's way more stuff that happens that I just cannot say, because I feel like definitely I'm going to do a whole bunch of spoilers and I don't want to spoil it for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. If you guys did, please give a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you want to see more content from me. But okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, toodles!